Good morning and welcome to Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Nowadays, the majority of Hindus are celebrating Navratri, the festival of 9 nights. Now is 9, and each day is celebrated as a part of Durga's victory over evil. Basically, the victory of good over evil. What happens is that in this exuberance of celebration, people often forget the symbolism part. As far as Durga, the power, the female power, the protege of gods to defeat the demons is concerned, that's absolutely fantastic story by itself. But its relevance increases much more when it's taken in the context of human being. And Navratri is deemed to be a symptom, a symbol of decoding human energies. We think of the cosmos and forget that each individual is a part of the cosmos. Now, I will not go into the stories of Navratri because they are well known to practically everybody. But let me talk about the capability of Navratri and the utility and the significance of Navratri for decoding human energies and the working of those energies for the good of the man and the good of the nature. There is a famous Sanskrit aphorism which is registered in the Puranas, Yat Pinde Tat Brahmande. Now you can interpret it in common language as all that is outside you is within you. Self-awareness. Now come to it. Look at the symbol. Durg is the first 4 syllables of Durga. So Durg means the fort, the fortress, impregnable, strong building. And Durga is one who resides inside the fort. So Durg is your body on a micro level. I'm reducing it to micro level. Your human body is like a fortress. And your mind, your soul, that is Durga. Now whether you use it to fight the demons, or you cover down, become a coward and just come to the fear, that's for you to decide. In this Durga resides Shakti, the energy, and that has to be decoded in Navratri. So, this energy, this Shakti is called Durga. The entire creation on a macro level is a Durga, albeit on the macrocosmic level, and Shakti is making the universe work is Durga. So, human body represents the whole cosmos. If you want to consider the micro level, it's individual. If you want to consider the macro level, it's the whole universe. And unaware of many of the secrets and the limited by our sphere of knowledge, what happens is that we start giving meaning to things around us. And then the reality escapes us. When you give meaning to the things around us, the interpretation turns out to be rather diminished. It's reduced. And in the simplest terms, Shakti is the power that creates, that energizes, that transmutes. You put a tiny seed in the earth, and that seed becomes a sapling. And then it becomes a full-fledged tree. From where did it all begin? A tiny seed. So Shakti is that intelligence that made that seed sprout and grow into a full bloom tree. Now, constricting Durga, as is done with a four hands riding a tiger, that is fine. But when you constrict it to a fixed subgroup, a fixed picture, a specific gesture, it's pretty much naive understanding of a much bigger and more sublime phenomenon. As a matter of fact, the way Durga is perceived is a reduction of the status of Durga. Durga is not merely a murti, no. She is not merely a picture, no. She is that intelligence which changes a seed into a tree. It which makes a drop of semen into a pulsating human being. Energy. And it's an energy which makes you come alive, as I said, and the lack of energy which makes you weak, and absence of energy which makes you die. Amazing thing is that if the nose of the father is long, so is son's. Even the color of the parents is imbibed in their offspring very time. If not in their offspring, in their grandchildren, and so on. But I am not going into the biological aspect. So, congenital ailments are passed on. Who is relaying this information? Just X and Y chromosomes? Or is there something more than that? And that is where the concept of Shabdik comes in. Even if one tries to understand the marvels and complexities of human body medically, the intellect is bound to go crazy. For instance, look at your lung tissues. Spread them on the ground. And the lung tissues spread on the ground take up the size of a tennis court. The weight of your brain is roughly between 1.25 to 1.5 kg, and yet it houses trillions of neurons. The nervous system laid across your body is the biggest network than any land network in the world. It's so intricate that even an attempt to replicate a single organ is going to be a mammoth task. So body is not only a fort, it's a factory in which you put milk, vegetables, other eatables, and what's the result? Blood is manufactured. Can a factory put outside ever accomplish a feat as marvelous? So Durga is a part of the thing which creates, recreates, and keeps on replicating. As I said, it's just not a piece of picture which is worn out after a few years and you get another one. They are mere symbolism created by some people to make people understand that the energies are much more important. And the 9 sacred nights, now come to Navratri, of Shakti worshipping God, honoring, remembering, and re-energizing our system, that divine power and intelligence. As I said, always say human being is divine, is a part of divine. So this 9 sacred nights of Shakti worshipping is Navratri. As I said, at a micro level, body is a miniature universe. As nature functions through an important dyad of hot and cold followed by transition period, our body too has a biorhythm in places called the nasal cycle. I'm not talking of the circadian cycle. Normally, if you are saying you breathe through one nostril, either left or right, and the nostril dominance shifts periodically through the day. I was amazed when I read it that the left nostril dominates the intake of the cool wool energy via Ida Nadi, one of the major energy channels in the subtle body. Recently, scientific research suggests that the left nostril breathing activates parasympathetic rest and digest response. And it was reported in Lancet. When the right nostril dominates, there is intake of heating energy, sun energy via Pingla Nadi. the second main channel in the subtle body. This activates sympathetic fight or flight response. So Navratri, this changeover, no activity dominates, but balancing the nostril happens to be the goal of all yogic practices. It is said to awaken Sushmana, the central nadi, which is gateway to self-realization. Now, Navratri is one such cycle of transition between dyad of the higher weather and the cold weather. This is, have you seen, the summer is coming to an end, it is autumn, the onset of winter. So the transition period is there, hot to cold, and vice versa during the month of Chaitra. So it's a biannual celebration spanning 9 nights, both times, before the beginning of the summer and before the beginning of the winter. And the purpose is to re-energize your body. And this celebration spanning 9 nights is a revered time for physical, mental, and spiritual upliftment. On the physical health front, now fasting is done, that reduces the amount of the food intake, and the result is it induces autophagy. Autophagy is a way of body cleansing the damaged cells. Degraded proteins and pathogens, they are removed. That enhances the immunity system and helps the body to heal. That's at the physical level. At the mental level, devoting more times to contemplation, to meditation, to prayers, take care of the stress, gives a sense of hope, gives a sense of gratitude, lowers the heart rate. And this contemplation, this thought process, this meditation makes you heal mentally, remove stress. Now comes the spiritual level. The transition time like Navratri is a kind of window period when nature is important in balance. So basically it's restoring the balance in the body. Balance as the body, physical health is concerned, mental health is concerned, and spiritual health is concerned. So this is the time to worship Shakti in various forms. Purpose to transcend tamas, rajas, and satguna. These 3 gunas are vital for the physical existence. But in order to attain the highest goal of salvation, you have got to transcend them. The first 3 days of the Navratri festival, Durga is worshipped in 3 forms, representing the power that removes all tendencies of tamas, which is laziness, ignorance, and procrastination. The next days, 4 to 6 days of the Navratri, the form of Durga that are worship understood to help banish Rajasic tendencies that pull you down. Rajguna is the mode of passion, aggression, and seeking sensory pleasures. Then 7 to 9, the form of Shakti that is worshipped increases Satguna, which is about purity and life. So physical, mental, and spiritual. The prime effect of Satguna is seeking truth and differentiating between the reality and the illusion. The realization comes through transcending all that, and you reach the highest level. Navratri festival concludes on Vijayadashmi, Dussehra, the 10th day, and it marks the victory of goddess over the demons. Same is Ram's victory over Ravana. It's an interplay of the attributes of the human body. So Navratri, as a celebration, is basically restoring balance in the body, covering the transition of the seasons on the one side and transition from the physical to the spiritual on the other side. And this Navratri festival, if taken as a sign of human body being at micro level, the representative of the macro level, the world of cosmos, makes Navratri, as a matter of fact, converts the human body like phoenix, that mythical bird which rises from its own ashes. Here the old is gone, the change is there, the garb is overthrown, and you become enlightened. Secondly, the energies which were being used in the summer are not to be used in the winter. There has to be change in the energies. You need different capabilities to fight winter. And winter can be the winter season, it can be the winter of life. So everything which is physical is in fact the representation of what is spiritual and mental. And thus Navratri, taken as a festival of re-energizing, reorienting your energies so that you are a better person, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And when one individual goes that, and all the individuals go that way, the whole world, the whole cosmos is metamorphized purely from the physical level to a much higher level. And the stress-free living is the result thereof, because your body, the fort, has become the residence of Durga, the Shakti, the re-energizer. Not only the energizer, but the re-energizer and the balancer of your capabilities and energies. Thank you.